everyone! Welcome back to Chill English Podcast, your favorite place to practice English in a fun and easy way. I'm Ella, and of course, James is here too.
Hey, so glad to be here again. Today, we're diving deep into a super common topic, talking about your weekend. But we're not just skimming the surface, we're going all in with tons of examples, details, questions, and even some laughs.
Exactly, because talking about your weekend is one of the best ways to practice English naturally. You use past tense, describe activities, share feelings, and connect with people. It's like a mini storytelling session every time.
Right. So, first, let's think about the classic question. What did you do over the weekend?
Yes, the Monday morning question that everyone asks. It might feel simple, but it's packed with opportunity. How do you usually answer it, James?
Honestly, sometimes I just say, I relaxed, or I watched TV. But those answers can get boring fast. So today, we'll teach you how to make your answers interesting, engaging, and totally natural.
Awesome! Let's start with the basics, using the past simple tense correctly. This is the foundation for talking about past events, like your weekend.
Right. Instead of I watch a movie, say I watched a movie. Instead of I go shopping, say I went shopping.
Past simple verbs are easy once you get used to them. And don't worry about irregular verbs. We'll give plenty of examples and practice.
Okay, here's a little trick. When you talk about your weekend, try to use action verbs that show what you actually did. For example, I cooked, I walked, I visited, I played, I saw, I met.
Good point. And you can make your answers even more natural by adding extra information, like when, where, who with, and how you felt.
Exactly. For example, on Saturday, I went hiking with my friends in the mountains. The weather was perfect and the view was amazing. I felt so happy and relaxed.
Or, I had a quiet weekend. I stayed home, read a book, and cooked a new recipe. It was peaceful and refreshing.
More detailed example. Let me tell you about my last weekend in detail. On Friday evening, I met some friends for dinner at a new Italian restaurant. The pasta was delicious and we talked for hours. On Saturday morning, I went jogging in the park.
It was sunny, but not too hot, perfect running weather. In the afternoon, I cleaned my apartment, which was long overdue. Then, on Sunday, I relaxed, watched a movie, and prepared for the week ahead.
Wow, that's a full weekend. See how James added time? Friday evening, Saturday morning, places, Italian restaurant, park, apartment, activities, dinner, jogging, cleaning, watching movies, and feelings. Delicious, perfect, relaxed.
Exactly. Adding those details makes your story come alive. Listeners or friends will be more interested, and your English sounds much more natural.
Vocabulary for weekend activities. Here's a list of activities people often do on weekends. These will help you describe your weekend better.
Ella, sleep in, wake up late, hang out with friends, go shopping, watch movies or TV series, cook or bake, exercise or go to the gym, visit family or relatives, do house cleaning.
Dreams. Read books or magazines. Play sports. Attend events or parties. Go to a cafe or restaurant. Travel or take a short trip. Garden or work in the yard. Do homework or study. Play video games. Listen to music or podcasts.
Ella, try to learn these and think about which ones you do most. Then use them to describe your weekend.
Adding emotions and opinions. Talking about what you did is great, but what really connects people is sharing how you felt or what you thought.
Right. Instead of just saying, I went to a party, say, I went to a party and it was so much fun. I danced all night and met some interesting people.
Or, I went to the gym, but honestly, I was tired and didn't feel like exercising. Still, I pushed myself, and it felt good afterward.
Adding opinions and emotions makes your English richer and more natural.
Practice conversation. Let's do a little role play. I'll be a listener asking about your weekend.
Great. Go ahead.
So, Ella, what did you do this weekend?
Well, on Saturday, I went to a pottery class. It was my first time, and I was a little nervous at first. But the instructor was so kind, and I really enjoyed making my own bowl. It wasn't perfect, but it was fun. Then on Sunday, I just relaxed at home and cooked a big dinner for my family.
That sounds amazing. Trying something new is always exciting. Did you take any pictures of your pottery?
Yes, I sent them to my friends, and they all said I should open a shop.
Well, you never know. Maybe you have a future as a potter. Asking questions to keep the conversation going.
When someone tells you about their weekend, it's important to keep the conversation flowing by asking questions.
For example, that sounds fun. How long was the pottery class? What was your favorite part? Did you find it difficult? Are you planning to go again?
And if someone says they watched a movie, you can ask, what movie did you watch? Did you like it? Who was your favorite character? Would you recommend it?
Asking questions shows interest and helps you practice English speaking naturally. Fun expressions for weekend talk.
Here are some fun expressions you can use when talking about your weekend. I had a blast, meaning I had a great time. It was a chill weekend, meaning relaxed and calm. I was wiped out, meaning very tired. It was nonstop, meaning busy the whole time. I caught up on sleep, meaning I slept a lot to recover.
Using these expressions helps you sound more like a native speaker and less like a textbook. Common mistakes to avoid.
Let's talk about a few common mistakes learners make when talking about their weekend.
One mistake is mixing tenses. For example, saying, I go to the gym on Saturday, instead of saying, I went to the gym on Saturday.
Another is forgetting to use the past tense for irregular verbs like I buyed food instead of I bought food.
Or confusing watching with watched. It's easy to say, I watching TV, but the correct form is, I watched TV.
Practice these and don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's part of learning. Building confidence.
Sometimes people hesitate to talk about their weekend because they're afraid of making mistakes or sounding boring.
But guess what? Most people just want to connect and have a friendly chat. They don't expect perfect English.
Exactly. The more you practice, the more confident you become. And the more confident you are, the more fun the conversation will be.
Role play interview style.
Okay, I'm the interviewer. Ella, tell me about your perfect weekend.
My perfect weekend would start with a lazy morning, sleeping in without an alarm. Then I'd have brunch with friends at a cozy cafe, maybe trying pancakes or avocado toast. In the afternoon, I'd go for a long walk in the park or visit a museum. In the evening, I'd watch a movie or read a good book. And of course, I'd have some ice cream as a treat.
That sounds fantastic. What about you? What's your perfect weekend?
I love that question. My perfect weekend is all about adventure, hiking somewhere new, trying local food, and maybe camping under the stars.
Expanding your vocabulary. One great way to improve is to learn new words related to weekends and hobbies.
For example, words like brunch, a late breakfast combined with lunch. Picnic, eating outside, usually in a park. Road trip, a long drive to explore new places. Festival, a special event with music, food, and fun activities. Spa day, a day for relaxing and pampering yourself.
Try to use these words when you talk about your weekend to sound more natural and interesting.
Listening and speaking practice.
Remember, listening to others talk about their weekends helps you learn new vocabulary and natural phrases.
Try watching English videos or listening to podcasts about daily life and weekends. Then practice speaking by repeating or summarizing what you heard. You can also practice with friends or language partners. Ask them about their weekends and tell them about yours. Wrapping up.
So, to sum up, talking about your weekend is a fantastic way to practice English. It uses past tense, descriptive words, emotions, and helps you connect with others.
Try to add details, feelings, and ask questions to keep conversations going. Don't forget to use fun expressions, and don't be afraid to make mistakes.
And the best part? Weekends happen every week, so you'll always have something new to talk about.
All right, James, since we've covered a lot about weekends, let's talk about some tricky situations people might face when sharing their stories. Like, what if you didn't do much? How do you say that without sounding boring?
Great question, Ella. Honestly, sometimes weekends are just slow, and that's okay. You can say things like, I had a pretty quiet weekend, or I didn't do much, just relaxed at home. But here's a secret. You can add something fun or thoughtful to make it interesting.
Exactly. For example, I didn't do much this weekend, but I caught up on some sleep and finally finished reading my book. It was nice to have some me time.
Or, I spent most of the weekend binge watching my favorite series. I know it sounds lazy, but it was exactly what I needed to recharge.
Hey, everyone deserves a lazy weekend now and then.
Another tricky thing is talking about bad experiences. What if your weekend wasn't great? How do you say that politely?
Good point. Instead of saying, my weekend was terrible, you can soften it. For example, my weekend was a bit challenging, or I had some ups and downs. Then explain briefly what happened.
Like, I caught a cold and had to rest all weekend, so I didn't do much. Or the weather was bad, so I stayed inside most of the time.
That way, you're honest but still polite. It also invites the other person to ask more if they want. Speaking of questions, asking the right questions is key to a good conversation. What are some creative questions to ask about someone's weekend? Here are some ideas. What was the highlight of your weekend? Did you try any new foods or restaurants? What was the funniest thing that happened? Did you learn something new? What was the most relaxing moment?
And don't forget follow-up questions like, how did that make you feel? Would you do it again? Who were you with?
Asking these shows you're really interested and makes the talk more fun. Okay, let's switch gears. Weekends are a great chance to practice your English listening skills too.
Right, you can listen to podcasts, watch movies, or even find YouTube videos where people talk about their weekends.
Try to notice new words, expressions, and how they tell their stories. Then try repeating some sentences out loud. It's called shadowing, and it's super helpful.
I do this a lot. For example, if I hear, I had a blast at the concert. I try to say it just like the speaker. Same tone, same rhythm.
It's like training your brain and your mouth at the same time. And what about speaking? How do you practice talking about your weekend if you don't have anyone to talk to?
Good question. One way is to talk to yourself. It sounds funny, but it works. You can describe your day out loud or your plans out loud.
Or keep a voice journal. Record yourself talking about your weekend, then listen and notice what you can improve.
Also, language exchange apps let you chat with people from all over the world. You can ask them about their weekend, share yours, and practice real conversations.
Let's talk about slang and informal phrases. They're super common when people talk about their weekends.
Yes, for example, I was totally wiped out after the party. Means very tired. We just chilled at home all day. Means relaxed, did nothing special.
It was lit, meaning amazing, exciting.
I was hanging with my buddies. Means spending time with friends.
Learning these phrases helps you understand native speakers better and sound more natural yourself.
Now, here's a fun challenge. Try to tell your weekend story without using the word I too much.
That's tricky. So instead of I went to the park, you could say, the park was beautiful and the sun was shining.
Or, the movie was amazing, kept me on the edge of my seat.
This helps you practice different sentence structures and makes your story more interesting.
Let's do a longer practice now. I'll ask and you answer like you're telling a story. Ready?
Ready.
Tell me about your Saturday morning.
Saturday morning started with a slow breakfast, pancakes, coffee, and the newspaper. After that, a quick walk in the neighborhood park. The birds were singing and the air was fresh. It felt like the perfect start to the weekend.
Nice. Now, tell me about Saturday afternoon.
Afternoon was all about errands, grocery shopping, picking up a package, and cleaning the apartment. Not very exciting, but necessary.
How about Sunday?
Sunday was more fun. Went to a local art fair with some friends. We saw paintings, crafts, and even a live music performance. Then grabbed some street food and sat by the river watching the sunset.
Beautiful. See how adding time, place, activities, and feelings makes your story much richer?
Before we finish, let's talk about some cultural differences. Weekends aren't the same everywhere.
Right. In some countries, weekends are Friday and Saturday. In others, Saturday and Sunday.
And what people do can be very different. For example, some families have big Sunday lunches, others prefer to go hiking, and some people visit religious places.
Knowing these differences can help you understand conversations better and even make new friends by sharing your own culture.
So, listeners, next time someone asks you about your weekend, don't just say, fine. Use these ideas to tell a fun, detailed story.
And remember, practice makes perfect. The more you talk about your weekend, the easier it gets.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us today on Chill English Podcast. We hope you feel more confident talking about your weekends now.
See you next time with a new topic to help you speak English naturally.
Stay chill and keep practicing.